Good evening and welcome into a special episode of the Boulevard. You got me and Jose here tonight doing my favorite show of the year, college basketball. We're literally 8 days away. College basketball preview show, breaking down our favorite teams, breaking down these conferences. I'm super hyped. I've been waiting for this for a long time. So, how you doing tonight, Jose? And thank you for joining me. It is a pleasure to have you tonight. One of the more knowledgeable college basketball betters that I personally have ever met. So it's great to have you here tonight.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, college basketball is kind of where John and I really made our bones in terms of the gambling world. College football is something that it's a weekly show that we have. And people may assume that that's the sport that we're probably most knowledgeable in, but it's not. It's actually college basketball. Um, we've been doing this for what, a decade plus now, John?
I
And
think like 12 years. Yeah.
yeah, over a decade. So John is probably the only person that I know that I speak to like on a daily basis that I can like have confidence in that he's gonna know the spread on like Merrimack against Mercyhurst or something like that. Because everyone else that I've ever met in real life, I mean, some people are starting to come around in college basketball, but they're not to the level that John and I are at. And to be fair, that's a very, very high level to get to. So it's our favorite sport to bet on. It's our most knowledgeable sport, and I cannot wait to get this thing going. We're going through that little period where we have college football and basketball and NFL. Everything's coming, coming full circle. So it's great.
Yep. Yep. It is. I've personally have started to transition over to mainly college basketball. This is when I spend a lot of my bankroll, a lot of my time, and a lot of my breakdowns and stuff on this. But yeah, so we're here to go do this. For those of you that aren't familiar with the site up on the screen, this is called Evan Maya. Same thing as Kim Palm, Torvik, Haslam. All four are very reputable sites. I just personally tonight, after going through all the websites, looking at rankings, this and that, this is the one that kind of aligns the most to me to be the most accurate at the moment, what I believe in. So we're going to be using Evan Maya for the breakdowns tonight. Also, on top of that, I was going to say college basketball at the beginning of the year is where you can make the most amount of money. Same thing with college football. We all, Jose can attest to it. We started hot in college football. It's kind of evened out a little bit. The books adjust. The books see lines get real tight. You don't see as much value. So last year, I believe there was one week where I went like 30-2 or something in college basketball. So, and it was early in the year. That's when you got to really jump on it. But yeah, we're super excited. We're going to break down a lot for you tonight. And we're going to start right here with the ACC, Jose. Um, from the top here, we see Duke at the top. No surprise. I'm actually watching Duke Tennessee exhibition game right now on ESPN2. And the reason it's no surprise is even though they have to replace Cooper Flag, Cam Boozer's looked the part already. Absolute playmaker, offensively, defensively. Had 13 and 15 tonight against and the first half against a very good Tennessee defensive team. He looks the part. Isaiah Evans, Malik Brown, Caleb Foster, Patrick Ngbongo. I and you also got Cam's brother, Caden there. Um, the starting five for this team for me, I don't really have any questions about. It will be their bench for me this year. So I do think that this is kind of right here with Duke at the top. North Carolina's a little high for me. I'm not a big believer in Hubert Davis. I've tried and tried, and I know that you can attest to it as well. He just continues to fail this team, in my opinion, and he is holding them back. Um, Louisville, Louisville might have the best front court in or the best backcourt in basketball this year, in my opinion. Michael Brown, Ryan Comlow's over there, Isaac McNeely, Hadley. This team, although they didn't look good the other night playing Kansas, this team can absolutely shoot the ball, and we can see that they are 7 deep. And for those of you who don't know, this is offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency. They are 7 deep on offensive efficiency. This team can absolutely shoot the ball, score a ton of points. Pat Kelsey has really done a great job with this team. And I'm a big fan of Louisville this year. I think they'll push Duke for the ACC regular season title. But outside of that, I really like what Will Wade's doing down there at NC State as well. I think all these, like I said, a lot of these are going to align with kind of what I believe in. They get Darian Williams, Trey Holloman, Terrence Arsenault, So I'm a big Will Wade fan personally, and I love how he coaches. But there's a big belief that NC State's going to be real good this year. Any of these teams really standing out to you that you've kind of looked into, or what do you think about the ACC this year?
A team that stands out to me is the one you just went over, NC State. That's a team that I had circled. I think that's a team that can make some real damage this year.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe not so much. I'm not convinced they have the personnel or the depth to compete in the ACC regular season, but it's a team I have circled for how they're playing towards the end of the year. Maybe take a flyer on them in the ACC tournament.
Yeah.
Because they are very top heavy. Like the best players they have are really, really good, but the bench is where I'm concerned about. But you talked about Will Wade. He's won everywhere he's coached at. He's a coach that we really, really hold in high regards. I know I do. I do. And I'm excited to see this NC State team. A lot of hype, a lot of positive vibes going around the NC State campus right now, based on what I've seen,
Yeah.
what I've heard. A lot of promise there. So that's a team. If you want to take a flyer on anybody, I would think NC State might be your best bet.
Mhm.
Louisville too, though. Louisville has a roster. Louisville, I think, has a legitimate shot to compete for Duke. But that being said, though, Duke should win this conference. I'd be very, very surprised if they didn't.
Yeah.
But NC State's my surprise team.
Yeah. What one team I do want to shout out really quick here that is very extremely underrated. We're gonna have to kind of see what they're gonna do here, but it's gonna be Virginia Tech. Um, this team is kind of gonna be a little bit of a sleeper secret team here. We're gonna have to kind of see what they do here. I'm gonna shout out Blue Blooded Podcast, Ryan Hammer over there. He kind of put me on this team. He has them as the sixth best team in the conference. They have a point guard over there that is just out of his mind. So we'll have to kind of see how they play, how they look. But yeah, I think this stacks up pretty well here. Another conference I'm going to go to, the American real quick. I'm not even going to break it down real quick, but this is Memphis against South Florida. South Florida actually is the betting favorite to win this conference this year. PJ Haggerty left Memphis to go to Kansas State. Kansas State threw a bag at him. But this should be an entertaining conference between Memphis and South Florida. I think it's dead even. So it's going to come down to those two regular season games that they play each other. Who wins that regular season title over there in the American? We're going to go to the A10 really quickly. I don't know if you really know a whole lot about a lot of these teams here. I know you know a lot about basketball, but this conference might be the best conference to watch this year. It is any six of these teams right here at the top could win this conference. I mean, it is dead. Like all on betting odds, these six teams are all below 1,000 to win the conference. I think VCU is priced right here. They are the favorite on most books, but do not sleep on George Washington. I am super high on George Washington, especially offensively this year. Loyola Chicago, they're going to come out and play for Sister Jean this year. I will say real quick, breaking news about an hour ago, Dayton actually, they will be playing without Adam Nagy Jr. He is suspended or something about eligibility, so their third best player will not be playing. So that's going to hurt them a little bit. At one point, they were plus 1,000 to win the conference, then they bumped up all the way to plus 400. So we'll kind of have to see what happens to them. But this conference right here is going to be super fun to keep up with this year. You anything for this conference real quick? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here with the A10.
No worries. There's a player that I'm really interested to see play this year. He's on Dayton. I can't pronounce his last name. If you want to click on that one more time, Amael Letiang.
Yes,
I'm really bad at that. I'll get to know him. Everyone will get to know him. I believe he's like a 7-foot French international player.
Yeah.
A lot of hype with him. So I'm really interested to see how this guy plays. If he hits right, Dayton might have the best player in the conference. So
yeah. VCU, let's see, Tyrell Ward, Barry Evans. Yeah, the thing with VCU here is they're deep. They can go 7 deep here, even 8 deep. So I think that's really going to help them this year, especially in a grueling conference like this. But let's move over here to the Big 12, where you're going to see the number 1 ranked team, Jose's Houston Cougars, a team that he loves to bet on. Every time he bets on.
Well, I mean, And for good reason. And keep in mind, like, this is a
Yeah,
team that we were betting on, like, before they became Houston. Like, what
yeah,
everyone knows is Houston now. This was a team that we had, like, seen, like, throughout the years. Like, hey, wait a minute, Kelvin Sampson's building something here. Now we've kind of just
uh-huh.
been, grandfathered into this Houston, Big 12 fan base. But we were on this team for years, when
Yeah,
Kelvin Sampson first got there. So, it's nice to see the fruits of our labor, I guess, paying off.
yeah. I love Kelvin Sampson and what he does over there. Um, I'll kind of throw a few quick nuggets out here and then let you kind of go through the conference a little bit here. We see Baylor down here, kind of taking a step. The one thing about the Big 12 real quick is they might get 11 teams in the tournament. I mean,
It's
this
the
team,
best. It's the best basketball conference
I
by far.
mean, this it's insane. You got Baylor down here, Kansas State, they like I said, they got PJ Haggerty. Texas Tech's really good this year, really, really good. Um, Real quick, I'm gonna bring it up. I know a lot of people didn't know about him, but now they do. Darren Peterson, uh, absolutely, he's one of the players that can carry a team in the tournament. He is that good offensively. Badunga, absolute force. I do like, and even Kelvin Sampson said it. A lot of people are sleeping on this Kansas team this year. We see him ranked 5 here, but 18th overall in relative rankings. Darren Peterson can carry this team if he stays healthy. He is that good. I know Ryan Hammer over on Blue Button mentioned he resembles a lot of Cade Cunningham offensively. That he could just carry a team whenever Cade Cunningham played for Oklahoma State and carried that team. Darren Peterson can do that. Iowa State, they bring back Taman Lipsey. Not as highly projected as last year. I know that they were one of the favorites to win it all last year, but still a very good ball team, good defensively. They just need some more offense. AJ DeBansta has looked the part. I don't know if you've seen him any exhibition games yet, Jose. He's looked the
Mhm.
part. He's looked even better than what people thought. This team is really, really good on paper. DeBansta, Saunders, Rob Wright, Dawson Baker, Kennard, they're deep too. They're 8 deep. I mean, this team is really good. BYU is going to make a push for Houston in the Big 12 title game, in my opinion, in the Big 12 regular season. But you look at Houston, and the difference this year for Houston is they're going to be relying on 2 freshmen to kind of fill a void this year. But I think the biggest thing for them is Milos Uzan's got to take that next step. And we've kind of seen that um, with these Kelvin Sampson teams. Jamal Shed become a great guard, right? LJ Cryer, another great guard. I mean, he really develops guards well over there. I believe Quentin Grimes was over there, if I remember correctly. But
Yeah.
this team, they do have to. They really gotta rely on 2 freshmen this year, 2 really good freshmen. Don't get me wrong, but they've got to step in, um, play good hard ball to kind of keep this team above float. Um, and the one thing with Houston is they're not deep. They never are deep. So when they do get injured, it hurts sometimes. Um, but I think this conference is pretty stacked up pretty right. I would bring Arizona down a couple, move Kansas up a couple, probably move BYU to that number 2 spot. But other than that, I think that's right. I have no bets on this conference just because Houston is an absolute juggernaut. Um, you got anything on this conference? I remember at the beginning, even after in off season, you really liked BYU.
Yeah, BYU was a team that I wanted to back, like, um, for a national title look, but the numbers are just not juicy enough for me to back them.
Yeah,
Um, the roster is loaded, and one of the players they got from this conference, Rob Wright, came over from Baylor. I think he's a dog. I think he's one of the
yeah,
better point guards in the country. That was a massive get for them. They're just throwing a lot of money left and right now. I mean, when players like AJ DeBanster are going to BYU, he's going there for one reason only, because he's getting paid. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
for sure.
so good on the alumni, I guess, for dedicating their part of their financial success towards basketball, giving back to the school. There's one team that I wanted to point out real quick, a team that I was also high on in this conference, and I'm probably still going to back them, but now I have to see a little more, and that's Cincinnati. If you want to click on them, this
Yeah,
was a team who I was really interested to see play this year until I got the news that Jizzle James was no longer a part of this program.
yeah,
Anybody doesn't know, he was probably their best overall player, their point guard. I think he's the son of Edgerrin James, if I remember correctly. He was someone who really led this team last year, all aspects, not only in points, but just his overall his persona, his leadership skills. He was their best player. He's no longer with the program. I'm not really sure what happened there. I think, from what I understand, Kirk Kriisa, I'm sure a lot of people know who he is. He's been there for like 6-7 years now. He's now at Cincinnati. So again, I wanted to back this team, but now there's just too big of a question mark to see who's going to step up for me to really put any money behind them. But once this team starts playing, I'll be able to get a better idea of whether or not this is a bet on team or a stay away team. But this was a team that I was looking at to bet. Some other nuggets real quick, at least for me, like when I put my numbers in there, the two best or the two most valuable home courts are in this conference, and that's Texas Tech and that's West Virginia. I think when things are going right for these programs, when they have, when the fan base is bought in, if they're doing really good and they get a sold out environment, I would say those two teams have the best home field advantage, maybe in the country. That's how good it is. You got to factor into these teams play at elevation, especially Texas Tech. So different things go into it. But for my numbers, I would say these two teams, if they're doing good, have the best home field advantages. So just food for thought as the season goes on. If someone's playing at one of these two arenas, just know you're going to pay a little premium to bet on these teams.
Yeah. JT Toppin, absolute baller in the Big 12. And Lawan Watts, that is going to be a name to keep an eye out for this year. I expect him to do great things for Texas Tech. We're going to move over here to the Big East. A conference that I personally is one of my favorite conferences. A conference I love, but a little down this year, in my opinion. But UConn up at the top. I think that's right, rightfully so. But I have St. John's a lot closer. This is where my first bet comes in. First future of the year. I've got St. John's to win it all. I love the St. John's team. I love the coach, Rick Pitino. I love Zuby Ejiofor. But the difference this year is this team is deeper. Pitino come out. He said, "I'm playing 10 this year. I've got 2 starting fives. I got my starting 5 and I got my other starting 5. That's the thing I love about the St. John's team. I think that they have the team to go all the way. I don't question that they're going to be in the tournament. I think they're going to be a 2 or a 3 seed. And with the right draw, as we all know, you can go pretty far. So I do like they're one of my 2 favorite teams this year. I love St. John's and what they're doing over there in the coaching. That's the team I'm automatically backing. We see Creighton down here. Creighton's kind of hit or miss sometimes. Marquette, Providence above Villanova, Georgetown. We'll look at UConn real quick. Solo Ball. Taurus Reed's a baller, great defensive player. Alex Caravan coming back. This team has got a lot of experience. And they're also pretty deep as well. Can't deny Dan Hurley as a coach. Really good home court advantage as well. So I see why UConn's at the top. I kind of have St. John's pretty close to them, but the experience for UConn should pay off for them. I expect them to make a pretty good run this year. Remember, they were back to back just 2 years ago. People kind of wrote them off after last year. This team is still really good with a really good coach. What do you like over here in the Big East?
So I got really close to pulling the trigger on a national championship bet in this conference, and I know you talked about it just briefly, but I got really close to taking a shot with Creighton at 80-1 when this thing first opened up. If you want to pull up the roster real quick, I was really, really buying into the upside with this team, but there was one thing that pulled me back. But first, let's talk about the upside. Their offense. I mean, they bring in 2 players from Iowa, Owen Freeman, the center, and Josh Dix, the shooting guard. I know Josh Dix was, I believe, like a top 15-ish transfer portal recruit. I would have had him top 5. Yeah. I love this guy's game at Iowa. I thought it was a really, really underrated player. Jackson McAndrew comes back, a big 6'11" shooting forward, kind of a 3-point sniper. Fedor Zujic, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. So I believe he's like a European player. He's going to be the new point guard, the new floor general. Isaac Trout, another player who's going to fill in that front line. A lot of upside offensively. But defensively, some major question marks. Owen Freeman, anybody remember his name at Iowa, was not a good defender. Josh Dix.
And he's ranked their best defender on the team.
Yeah, and again, he's like, I know it maybe looked like that. And that's true. He is the best defender on the team, but that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. So I got to see a little bit more, but I came really close to pulling the trigger. If I'm not really sure who Creighton plays early in the season, but this will be a team I look to back in terms of betting the over because there's not going to be a lot of defense played, at
Yeah,
least not on paper, and they have some amazing, amazing offensive talents. Josh Dix, I think, is one of the best players in the country.
yeah,
Um, so Creighton was a team that I was looking to back from a national championship perspective, but I couldn't really get there.
yeah,
So yeah. But the Big East though, in total, is down this year, and it's been
yeah,
down these last couple of years. It's not what we saw maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, when Villanova and UConn and Marquette and Creighton were all even like Xavier, they were all national powers. Now it's really just UConn and St. John's and everyone else.
yeah,
So another down year looks like for the Big East.
yeah. We might, I don't. We might only see 4 or 5 teams get in from the Big East.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Um,
four.
yeah, but we'll move on here to the Big Ten, where you're going to see the other number one team a lot of people have, and that's Purdue. Don't get it wrong. I know they lost in an exhibition the other night. It's an exhibition. Don't take that much from it. This conference is absolutely loaded, just like the Big 12. They're going to get 10, 11 teams in. The crazy thing to me, and I know that you probably know this, the Big Ten has not won the national title since 2000. I believe it was 2000 the last time they won the national championship. That is insane to me.
I think it changes this year.
Purdue, you see Purdue at the top. Can Matt Painter do it? You got TKR, you got Braden Smith, you got Fletcher Lawyer, you got CJ Cox, Oscar Clough. This team's really good on paper. This team's really good in person. Can they stay healthy? There's a lot of mouths to feed. I personally, I'm on Michigan this year. I love Michigan. Michigan is my other team. Yaxel Lindenborg, National Player of the Year right here. I bet on him to win the Naismith. Offensively, defensively, he's an absolute stud coming in from UAB. In the two exhibition games they've already played this year, he's averaged like 30, 15, and 2. The difference over here, too, is they don't have as many mouths to feed that Purdue has. That's why I kind of took a longer shot here on Yaxel to win the Naismith Player of the Year award. Other than that, though, they're very balanced. They're pretty deep. Trey McKinney comes in as a freshman. He's the big kind of question mark for me. If he can come in, highly touted freshman, and shoot the ball well, they need him to shoot the ball well. It's going to open it up for everyone. Roddy Gale, Elliot Cadeau comes over from UNC, Morez Johnson, Adaya Mara. I love this team. I love the coach. I think they're going to go really far. I have them place the bet on them to make the Final Four at like 5-1, and it's down to like 3-1 at some books. What Yaxel Lindenborg can do for this team, he's another player like Darren Peterson that can carry a team through the tournament. He's what Hunter Dickinson wishes he could be. I love, love, love Michigan. Outside of that, Illinois, the all-European team, really good. They're going to shoot. They're going to score a lot of points. Other than Kylan Boswell, this entire team's from Europe almost. Uh, so we're
Yeah.
just we're just gonna have to see kind of what happens over there. Maybe the best player in the country outside of Braden Smith, Donovan Dent, over at UCLA. Eric Daly Jr., Sky Clark's back. This team's going to be really good. Ohio State, Bruce Thornton, one of the better offensive players in the country. He's going to carry this team through the season, get them to the tournament. Another good team. Michigan State, Conan Carr, Jeremy Fierce, Jackson Kohler. Conan Carr is a freak. He's a freak. Michigan State, Oregon. I mean, Jackson Shellstad, Nate Biddle, Kwame Evans. This team is good. The Big Ten is loaded this year. Wisconsin, good ball team. USC, good ball team. Iowa, good ball team. Indiana, they won their exhibition today. One by 2 points. I can't even remember who they're playing now. They won their exhibition today. Indiana should probably make the tournament this year. This conference is loaded just like the Big 12. I love Michigan. I understand the hype for Purdue, Illinois, UCLA. I'm on Michigan this year, but all these teams are going to be really good, really high, really low seeds in the tournament, and any one of them can make a run. What are you thinking over here in the Big Ten?
To finish off your point on Michigan, Yaxel Landenberg, I'm not really sure if he has an NBA career, but I can guarantee you he will have a long, successful European career. He is honestly probably too good to be playing in college right now, but he's probably getting paid more than he would in Europe
Yeah.
right now, this 1 year at Michigan. So that was a massive get for Dusty. Um, yeah, I don't hate your Michigan pick at all. Now, I do have an official pick to win the national championship.
Ooh, let's go.
I actually just bet this earlier today at 35-1. I took the UCLA Bruins to
Hey,
my
Donovan
national
Dent.
championship. Now, if anybody doesn't know, and I'm not saying this is for me and John, that when we pick our national champions, we're not really that far off. Like we don't miss by a whole lot. Every now and then we'll have a really big miss, but for the most part, the last I don't know 6-7 years,
We've had someone. Yeah.
we've had teams go to the national championship and lose. I know I personally have had San Diego State at 100-1. They went to the national championship and lost that game. We had Baylor and Gonzaga the year
They were both
it got
one
canceled.
seeds, and it
Got canceled due to COVID. And the next year they both went.
You had
We've had
you had Houston the year
like at
Jamal
80-1.
Shed.
You know, before Houston was Houston. Like we
Yeah.
had some really, really close calls. So we're not really that far off. And this will be my pick to win the national championship this year, UCLA. John talked about it. They probably have a top 5 player in the country, Donovan Dent, which is a bold statement to make because he played at a mid-major. He was at New Mexico, but he was that good, and his numbers translate that well. And when he played against upper tier competition, he stepped up to the plate, man. He looked really, really good. Yeah. Eric Daly Jr., a transfer from Oklahoma State, I believe. He was really, really good last year. A good defensive player. Sky Clark starting to find his role in this offense and who he is as a player. He's more of a three-point specialist kind of guy, or at least that's the way he's trending. He's starting to play within himself. They have a lot of size on that team, which is something I look forward to win a national championship. Tyler Bilodeau, a big 6'10", transfer from Oregon State. He was great last year at UCLA. Steven Jemerson from San Diego, another 7-footer. They bring in another player who, I'm not going to lie to you guys, has been nothing short of a bust in his college career, and that's Xavier Booker, transferring from Michigan State. This guy was a top 3 recruit in the country when he came out, a 5-star across the board. He had a lot of potential when he arrived in East Lansing, and he did not live up to it. I'm not saying he's going to find his form here at UCLA. In fact, far from it. But if he could play 1/3 of the level that, scouts thought he could play at, that would be massive for Mick Cronin. Again, I'm not saying he's going to be some all-world player, but if he could just play within himself and use his size to his advantage, maybe hit a couple threes here and there, that'd be big for this program. The defense is going to be elite. That's what Mick Cronin does, and he hasn't had a player of Donovan Dent's skill level at UCLA to lead his offense. So I know the offense typically goes through droughts, but Donovan Dent is that good to where he can single-handedly end those droughts, or at least, leave his teammates open for open shots. So I'm just buying into this team. I really like it. I like the makeup. This was a team I was keeping an eye on once they got Donovan Dent, like the surrounding pieces they have. So at 35-1, that'll be my official pick to win the national championship this year, UCLA. Also, to keep within California, USC, a lot of hype over here with this program. They brought in Musselman's the head coach now. He has been known for rebuilding programs and doing them really, really quickly. If you want to click on the roster real quick, John, for SC. But Musselman has been known to rebuild extremely, extremely quickly. Chad Baker-Mazara, the 29-year-old, comes in from Auburn now. He's going to lead this team. Elijah Arenas, now he was actually in a car accident, I believe, earlier in the season. So hopefully he's 100% recovered. But he's a 5-star freshman. Jacob Kofi's another guy who's going to be a defensive stalwart for them. Rodney Rice is someone that came in from Maryland as a 3-point marksman. A lot of hype. At least I live in California. I live in LA, right by the campus. A lot of hype with this program, a lot of promise. So just another team to keep an eye out for. It would not shock me at all if they made the tournament. But this is one of the best conferences, top to bottom. This was the Big 12, and I'll tell you what, Purdue is loaded, Michigan is loaded. Illinois, a lot of potential there. But I'm going to take my shot with UCLA 35-1 and We'll see
I
what
don't I
happens.
don't hate it at all.
Yeah.
Donovan Dent's a player that could definitely carry this team, and they got
Yeah,
pieces
he's
around
that
him.
good. He
Yeah.
really is that good.
Real quick, I'm gonna hop over here to the Big West. I'm on UC Santa Barbara to win this conference over UC Irvine. It's kind of a two-horse race in my opinion. Hawaii should be pretty good, but I really like UC Santa Barbara this year. Them and Irvine kind of have flipped as favorites. But a name you might recognize, Aiden Mahaney goes to UC Santa Barbara after not working out over at UConn. A lot of experience, plays some good ball. I like the makeup of the starting five here. If they have some injuries, it could raise some concerns. But yeah, UC Santa Barbara to win the Big West. That's an official bet from me. It's like plus 300, I believe, over UC Irvine. It's kind of like that two-horse race. Let's move over here to real quick. I'm gonna hop over here to the Missouri Valley. I actually have Illinois State to win this conference regular season title. They have three star players: Johnny Kinzinger, Chase Walker, Jack Daughtry. These three guys, especially Chase Walker, mid-major player of the year, in my opinion. I think that he alone could carry this team to win this conference, but having Jack Daughtry and Kinzinger with him should it help more. This is going to be another fun conference. Murray State's a good ball team. Belmont's a very good ball team. Northern Iowa's always good. Bradley is the cream of the crop here, but Illinois State has the better offense that could carry them through this conference. So Chase Walker and company over Illinois State to win the Missouri Valley. I do like that
Sorry.
pick a lot. Go ahead.
No, I know that we're way, way down the line with this one, but just FYI, the Missouri Valley, when it comes to tournament time, Arch Madness is what it's known at. Is one of the most fun, entertaining conference tournaments out there. Definitely a conference just keep tabs on. So when that time comes, you're a little more familiar. But Arch Madness is one of the best conference tourneys in the country.
If Illinois State can make the tournament, in my opinion, and they're fully healthy, I do believe they're a day two team. I do expect them to pull an upset off, just because of experience and those three players I talked about. Mountain West, I don't have a play over here. I will bring it up real quick. San Diego State. God, look at that defensive efficiency rating, 9.7. Utah State offensive efficiency rating, 9.2. Complete polar opposites. Grand Canyon, I really do like Grand Canyon. I'm just not there enough to bet them to take down San Diego State or Utah State. Boise State's always got a real solid team. But yeah, this will be another absolute fun conference. No official picks from me. I do believe you'll see two of these teams probably in the tournament this year, maybe three, but definitely two. Anything from the over here on the Mountain West?
You already talked about it. The two top teams are two completely different teams: San Diego State and Utah State. I'll tell you what, though, San Diego State probably has one of the best players in mid-major. That's Magoon Guath. Anybody doesn't know who he is, a big 7-foot defensive stalwart. I believe he's injured to start the season. So hopefully he's 100%, come conference time. But he is one of the better players in the country. Miles Bird as well, another great defensive player. I think that's NBA looks. Yeah, it's a battle of styles. Those two teams, for sure.
Let's see. We'll move on over here to the SEC. We see Florida up here at the top trying to repeat. The Wildcats of Kentucky played some real good ball the other night. Tennessee, Alabama, Arkansas, Vandy, Auburn, Mississippi State, another absolutely loaded conference. See Texas down here a little lower. Bruce Pearl leaves Auburn. His son takes over. They did keep everyone. Nobody transferred out, so that was kind of good to see. Alabama, I do want to talk about Alabama real quick. A guy, Labarion Philon. This dude is incredible. I don't know if you've seen him play, but Philon is an absolute baller. He will be better than Mark Sears. He's going to put up numbers. He's going to be probably a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. This kid is unbelievable. Labarion Philon for Alabama. He could carry this team. We go over here to Florida. They got some transfers in. Boogie Flan, Xavier Lee. Alex Condon's back if he could stay healthy. Thomas Hall. This team will be really good again. I don't know if they'll repeat. I know they're highly regarded, but I don't think they're as good as last year's team. That team was unbelievable. Oteg Owe, very good ball player for Kentucky. That he looked incredible the other night. This team is pretty deep as well. I like Kentucky a lot. I think some people are kind of down on them this year, but I think I think they're going to make a run. Tennessee, they have Nate Ament, very good ball player right here, freshman coming in. Felix Opara's back. Cade Phillips, Jacoby Gillespie, transfer from Maryland. He looks really good. Rick Barnes always has his team playing good defense. Tennessee should be in the tournament again. Won't win it all, but they'll probably make it to week 2 like they normally do. Anyone standing out over here in the SEC for you?
Yeah, a team that I'm kind of high on this year, and they really surprised me last year. I think surprised everybody last year was Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
they are a top. Yeah, I think they're a really, really solid team. Um, it's funny because no one really stands out on this team in terms of like, oh, this is their best player by far. But as
Yeah.
a unit and cohesiveness, I'm really, really impressed with the roster makeup.
Yeah.
And again, last year this was a team that came out of nowhere and really, really, really impressed us. Frankie Collins, the name comes in from I believe Michigan and Arizona State before. He's shown some promise. Tyler Nickel, a marksman. Duke Miles, another player I believe just transferred in. Devin McLaughlin, the guy who should be their best player overall. Just a team where I really, really, really love the makeup and I love the cohesiveness. And we'll just have to wait and see how this team, shows. But it's a very underrated team and a team that I'll be betting on as the season goes on. Just more of a week-to-week, day-to-day kind of basis.
Yeah. Do you think Florida's going to repeat?
Do I think Florida will repeat? No, because like you said, I don't think their team is as good as last year's team.
Yeah.
Like Walter Clayton really was that guy. Elijah Martin was that
was.
guy. They had so many just outstanding players. Aberdeen, although I think he might be back actually. Did Aberdeen come back or did he transfer? Regardless, I just don't think overall that team is this much better than any better than the team from last year. And last year's team was a very, 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 very good team.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he transferred. That's what I thought. That's what I thought happened. A lot of size with this Florida team, but overall, no, I don't think they'll repeat. I think UCLA will win it. So
another extremely deep conference.
Yeah, for sure.
Move over here real quickly to my conference, the SoCon. We see Furman at the top for good reason. I do think they'll win this conference. East Tennessee State at number 2. That's my school. Chattanooga, Samford, UNCG. Another fun conference. I was going to bring something up to you real quick, though. I was listening to an interview recently with Ryan Hammer and Brooks Savage, the coach of ETSU. He said, this East Tennessee State team, completely new players except for like 2 people. All of them are transfers. And he said, it's really hard for any mid-major, not just them, to retain any player of quality because the amount of money that is coming in to just get these players snatched up, right? Kumari Peterson, he went over to Washington. Washington paid him a bag to come over there. But he didn't say a name, but he said a guy that was going to be a starting center for me this year, he took money to be a practice squad center at a blue-blooded school because they could pay more than what we could pay him to be a starter here. That is unbelievable to me that these mid-major schools can't get enough money to keep some of these players. I mean, this guy's leaving to go be on a practice squad for a blue-blooded team. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just the world we live in now.
It's the world we live in now. And at the end of the day, like you're worth whatever someone's willing to pay you. And I know like there's a very high chance that kid who's a practice squad player now for whatever blue blood program he's on probably would never made it to the NBA anywhere close. So if someone's willing to give you $100K, $200K to go be a practice squad guy, I think I would take that. You know what I mean? Now, if you want to play, 4 years of college basketball, and you want to go out there and compete, and that's worth more than the money to you, and hey, more power to you. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, the world we live in, a lot of people are going to take that bag and say, you know what, I'll sacrifice this year of college basketball if it means I got to pay, $100K or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
And Brick Savage, when he did that interview, he was kind of talking, and he said that this year they're not even going to play a center. They're just going to play power forward and guards because it is so hard in today's world to pay an actual good center.
That's true.
Literally, all the bigger name colleges, the Blue Bloods, are paying the centers so much money to come play for them. So that's something that you're just going to see more and more of. Over here, real quickly to the Summit League. St. Thomas, I do have them as the favorite to win this conference. I have bet on them to win this conference. South Dakota State should give them a little bit of a run here, like they normally do. But I do think St. Thomas is going to be a tournament team and could possibly make it to day 2. Let's see. We'll hop over here to the WAC real quick. Or I'm sorry, the WCC West Coast Conference. Gonzaga sitting there at number 10. This is another one of my favorite conferences to watch. Gonzaga sitting there at number 10. You got St. Mary's. San Francisco, I'm pretty high on this year. I don't know if they'll win this conference, but I do think they're going to win one of those games against Gonzaga and make a push for it. St. Mary's has given Gonzaga trouble. Santa Clara's kind of really turned it around. Good ball team. We'll look at Gonzaga real quick because they're going to be in the tournament. Graham Ike's back. Braden Huff's back. Braden Smith, Jalen Worley, Emmanuel. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. Adam Miller. So we do see some new names on this team outside of Graham Ike, Brandon Huff, Braden Smith. This team should be, this should be fun. I'm intrigued. This team didn't live up to the hype last year. I picked this team to win it all. They come out, they absolutely smoked Baylor week 1, and I said, this is it. This is my year. This is my team. And then they kind of just fell off a cliff. But yeah, anyone in the West Coast Conference, any talk over there on the West Coast or anything outside of Gonzaga? I do like San Francisco.
I like San Francisco as well. Just to finish on Gonzaga, it does not feel like a Gonzaga team that has the horses to really make a run.
I agree.
More talented. There's been more talented Gonzaga teams in our lifetime, teams that we bet on. Ike's back for like his 10th year of college basketball. I'm shocked that when I was doing my previews that he was actually still on this roster. But yeah, this is their conference to lose as it always is. But this is not the same Gonzaga team that you guys maybe you're used to.
Yeah.
So
if there was ever a year for them not to win it, for San Francisco or Santa Clara to do it, I would say it would be this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
That being said, I still think Gonzaga wins it. But.
Yeah. That really covers it. Is there any mid-major teams you want to kind of highlight? I can kind of scroll down through here, and we can kind of look at some of these teams real quick to wrap it up. Is there any mid-majors that were standing out to you?
For me, San Diego State was a team that I just wanted to talk about, but we kind of already did.
Yeah.
Based on how good their defense is. They have their games are going to be, 48 to 47 final scores.
Yeah.
Especially when it gets to Mountain West play, because that's just how dominant they are on the defensive side of the ball. As far as
Liberty should get in the tournament. St. Louis is a good ball team this year. Robbie Avila is coming back to play for them. He absolute sniper. Goggles over there. So he's St. Louis. It will be a team to kind of keep up with this year. Sorry, I hit player ratings. Anyone else really standing out? Grand Canyon's a good ball team. You see them at 75 here. To kind of talk about George Washington a little bit up here at 81. Akron. We did talk about Akron. Akron's sneaky this year. Akron's a sneaky ball team. Always a really good offense. McNeese, even though Will Wade's gone, McNeese is sneaky. They kept some of those guys that Will Wade had over there. Who else? UC Santa Barbara. I already kind of talked about them. Belmont's a good shooting team this year. High Point. I didn't talk about High Point. High Point's a really good team. I'm high on. I think that they'll probably make the tournament as well. and win their conference. Anyone else really standing out to you?
Not necessarily.
College of Charleston. I know that don't look good on paper. God, what is his name? The coach that's over there now.
It's not Pat Kelsey. That's where he came from.
He came from Louisville. His name is slipping me. I do love how he coaches, and I think that he will do something really good down there at Charleston. What is his name? Chris Mack.
Chris Mack, correct.
Yeah. He's down there in Charleston now, so we'll kind of have to see how that plays out. Anything really else standing out to you?
No, not necessarily. Just excited for the season to get going.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be a fun year. Y'all stay tuned to your normal stuff, action, Twitter, all that good stuff. That's where you're going to get basketball bets. I have pretty much transitioned over. I'll have some football bets this weekend, but once basketball starts, that's kind of my focus. I bet every single day on college basketball for like 3 months last year until I finally needed a break for a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited. There are a couple lines out already for that, for the Villanova, BYU, and Arizona, Florida game. I'm waiting for the rest of the lines to drop. There's some really good games. We were talking about the other night, Players Era Festival. That's going to be lit. That's going to be a lot. That's going to be a crazy good tournament. Basketball from literally morning to midnight. So, but yeah, well, I'm excited. I can't wait. Michigan, St. John's, baby. That's who I'm riding with this year. Jose's got UCLA. And stay tuned because basketball is a good sport to take a future in the middle of the year.
It really is.
Yeah, not necessarily right there at the beginning. You could see us take one of these teams in the middle of the year, like at Alabama with Liberion Philon or Kansas even. Kansas's odds are much lower than normal. Darren Peterson's a baller, man. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on tonight, talking a little college basketball for us. You got anything else to end the night out?
No, just as I said when college football started, college basketball is about to start. Enjoy it while you can because this thing flies by. It really does. And before you know it, it'll be March Madness. This is hope for another great season.
Yep. Well, we appreciate everyone tuning in. Y'all can always come back to this to kind of see our breakdowns of who we like this year, players we like. But yeah, follow the action, the Twitter, Reddit, everything. I'm going to try to keep up with posting college basketball picks on Reddit this year. It's just a lot to post on Action, Twitter, and Reddit when it comes to college basketball because there are so many games. And I'm a volume better. I bet a lot of college basketball. So, but yeah, we appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe. Thank you for hitting 50 subscribers. We really appreciate that. Now we're working towards 100. But Jose, I appreciate you being here tonight, talking college ball with me. I'm excited. Can't wait to bet the season with you, make some money. And yeah, that will end it for tonight. But